Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kate and I love all things makeup, skincare, beauty, and fun. Today we're going to be going over what I have been loving so far this summer. There's a mix of some cost-effective options as well as some higher-end options and of course some indie options. So if you're interested in this type of content, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I would love it so much if you would subscribe to my channel down below, and without any further ado, let's go. Okay, so I do want to preface this by saying it is very toasty in my beauty room. It is upstairs in my New England home, and if you are in this area, you know it has been so humid lately. So I do apologize if you see me sweating. Unfortunately, it is the bane of my existence, but we must press on. We're going to start with primer today. I have two different primers that I want to talk about. The first one I've talked about at length, but I'm still using it, still loving it. It's by Glow Recipe. It's their Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops. I don't find, admittedly, that this does much, if anything, for blurring my pores, but what I do find is that it allows my combination skin to repel oil a little bit better and allows my makeup to last a little bit longer. Full disclosure, I am 33 years old. I have combination skin with an exceptionally oily T-zone, and my skin really is affected by the weather around me, which is just fabulous because I live in New England, where we have 4 seasons. So that is a bit of a predicament. However, I am grateful that I feel like I continue to find really great alternatives, or options rather, to support my skin and allow my makeup to look beautiful no matter the season. The next primer we're going to add is this one by Milk. It's actually a little travel size one, and this is the Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. I really do think this does a nice job of mattifying the skin and helping my skin to stay more matte. Certainly, especially in these summer months, I really struggle. I have not yet tried the primer by One Size, where it identifies that it's going to help with sweat, and part of that is that I haven't seen anyone testing it in that way. Like, I've seen people testing it for pores, and I've seen people testing it for like mattifying the skin in general, but oil and sweat, of course, are like very different things that we're dealing with here. So I have not seen anything that helps, or like that, not that helps, but like that identifies that that primer is working well for that. For foundation today, we're going to go in with one that I've talked a lot about on my channel, but it continues to be a favorite for me. This is by Tom Ford. It's their Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. Now, obviously, this is not a cost-effective option by any stretch of the imagination, and I have a ranking my drugstore foundations video up on my channel that certainly I encourage you to watch if you're interested in more cost-effective options. That being said, I do prefer this over most of those. I think probably my contender for this one, as far as like summertime goes, would be the Neutrogena CC cream. But the Tom Ford one, I really just do feel like it does a nice job of doing exactly what it says that it's going to do, as far as it is a soft matte. I also appreciate that it's not going to be full coverage, because in the summer, for me and the way that New England summers go, a full coverage foundation, while I do love the occasional glam in the summer, I find more often than not I'm going for something that's medium to light, just because it doesn't feel so heavy on the skin. It's less likely, in my experience, to break down on me, and that's why this one continues to be a tried and true. To apply it, by the way, I'm just using an L11 brush by Laura Lee Los Angeles. I love a good flat top kabuki. So you can see it just kind of evens things out a bit. You can build it a little bit, but I will say it's not the most buildable. I don't personally think that you're going to get like a full beat out of this foundation. Certainly you're going to get more coverage out of a brush, which is partially why I use it with a brush, but it's not one of those that's going to be like a KVD Good Apple foundation or the Gucci foundation. It's just not. And similarly, so Speaking of the Gucci foundation, I love that one. It is definitely, in my humble opinion, meant for oily skin because it really is more of a dry formula, and it looks a little bit more dry on the skin. So I think people with oily skin would love it, but it's definitely more full coverage than this Tom Ford one. For concealer, we're going to go in with this one by NYX. It's their Bare With Me Serum Concealer. This is just such a hidden gem, I feel. I know it went viral probably earlier this year, if not the end of last year, and I'm kind of just discovering it personally, but I am really enjoying it. It's another one that I do feel like this is pretty high coverage, but it's not one that's gonna sit, in my opinion, super heavy on the skin, which is key, especially in the summer. For cream bronzer, I have been loving this one by Soul Body Care. This is a sister brand to ColourPop. First of all, it smells like coconuts, which I just love. And second of all, I just find that it is the perfect amount of emollient to set right onto the skin without disrupting the foundation underneath. And it's more of a buildable formula. So I find that I don't have to worry about going in too heavy-handed. A lot of people have identified that they think that this is a dupe for the Chanel bronzer. I'll be honest, I've never tried that one, so I can't speak to that. But I can say that I really enjoy this bronzer. It's not one that I prefer to use over powder, but that being said, in the summertime, I'm really not like as diligent about powdering my entire face. I probably will today just because I have more videos to film, but I don't find that powdering my face necessarily in the summer is always the most beneficial for me, just because I am somebody that like sweats a lot, and I find that it really just upsets the powder. That being said, I am going to go in with this one by Pacifica. It is their Cherry Velvet Matte setting powder. Then just going in with my puff, we're going to set right under our eyes. I do feel like this powder does a nice job of keeping my face matte. It has a very strong cherry scent though, so honestly, if you do not like a scented powder, this one is probably not going to be your go-to because it really does smell very strongly of cherry. It dissipates as you wear it, so it's not something that you're going to smell the entire day. That being said, you are going to smell it pretty intensely when you first apply it. So that's just something to bear in mind. This is definitely more cost effective than some of the other options. And in fact, I talked about this powder in my drugstore summer favorites, but I do think it's good enough that it's worth mentioning again. For cream blush, I'm going to go in with my Melt Cosmetics. This is my favorite cream blush formula of all time. This is in the shade Golden Hour specifically. It's just this really beautiful peachy corally color. And I love this formula so much because year round, I can wear this formula over my powder without it disrupting it. It's like the perfect consistency. Certainly you could, of course, wear this over your liquids as well. But for somebody who has oily skin, or for somebody who has combination skin and is like concerned about their makeup getting disrupted, the Melt cream blushes, 10 out of 10. So good. I wish honestly that they would come out with the bronzer formula in those, because I would be on that like white on rice. So good. For powder bronzer, I've been loving this one by Kosas. This is their, let's see here, the Sun Show bronzer, I believe, and in the shade Beachy. I'm pretty sure I got that right. This is actually newer to me. I got this when it launched, which was probably like sometime in early spring, and I just love this. I really enjoy this formula. I don't have anything funky going on mine. I know the last time they released this bronzer, people were experiencing less than ideal situations where it was going bad way too speedily. Thankfully, that has not been the case. I've had this for at least 2 or 3 months at this point, and I have not had any snafus, so I'm super grateful for that, and I love how it looks on the skin. I do feel like in the winter that shade might be a little too much for me, but in the summertime when I'm a little bit more tan and a little less translucent, it certainly works. For powder blush, we're going to go in with this one from Odin's Eye. This is Sienna Luster. I'm telling you, if you have not tried the Odin's Eye blushes, I don't know what you're doing, because they're so good. They're so beautiful. They do, most of them have like a peachy slash coral slash orange tone to them, so certainly, of course, if you don't like those tones, I can see how these blushes wouldn't be for you, but I do feel like they have a beautiful range as far as depths go. They go from very light to very deep. They have different finishes. I really like a nice luminous finish, so that is what I'm going for. For under my eyes, I consistently use this. This is by Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is actually the fair one. I need to find where I put my light one, because at this point this is almost too light for me. But I like to just go under my eyes and brighten a little bit. And then I can take this shade down here and clean up underneath my bronzer to give it a little bit more of a defined look. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face, and to do that I'm gonna use this one by Milk. This is their Pore Eclipse Matte Setting Spray. This is like one of the best setting sprays as far as mattifying that I personally have ever used in my life. And consequently, for summertime, it's a must-have. For highlighter, I've really been loving this one out of the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. This is in Dream Glow down here. I just feel like it is such a beautiful neutral champagne color that I feel is really buildable. So if you're not looking for something super intense, but something that is like more of a glow from within, sinks right into the skin, I think you would love this. For eyeshadow, I have another palette that's actually pretty new as far as I did release in 2023 to talk about. This is the Italian Spritz palette by Too Faced. And I just love this palette. I just feel like it's very versatile as far as if you are wanting to do a more colorful look, you can certainly do that with this. If you're wanting to do a more neutral look, you can certainly do that with this. I just feel like there's a lot of room to play. I think what we'll do today is probably more of a neutrally look with maybe a pop of color. So we're gonna start and we're just gonna go in with Holy Cannoli right in the crease. I'm not doing anything too dramatic today. I'll be honest, in the summertime it really depends. I have to be like in the mood for it to do the full glitz and glamour. And again, like especially right now up here in this room which is like I think part of the snafu for me in the summer, it's just so warm that it gets really hard to want to spend long periods of time up here. I do have an air conditioner, so for the everyday it's not nearly as big of a hindrance, but I can't run the AC while I'm filming because that's all you can hear. So we have to make do, which is totally fine. I'm going to take this E45 by Sigma, and I'm trying to think. I think I kind of want to do this color here, which is When in Rome, in the crease, like deep into my crease. I think that's what we'll do. And then maybe Ciao Bellini all over the lid. Again, it gets really warm up here, and it can be just, for me, a bit of a challenge to want to do these really eccentric eye looks when I'm like roasting, you know? Where do you guys typically do your makeup? I'm curious to know, because I know that like not everyone, of course, is willing or able to create an entire space in their house for their makeup and their beauty regime. But I am trying to recall so I had an apartment prior to my home, and even in that apartment I had a 2-bedroom, and I dedicated the 2nd bedroom to my beauty space. But before that, I just had a little vanity, and I would just do it in my bedroom at my vanity. But I know some people really prefer to do it, to do their makeup in the bathroom. Some people prefer to do it on the floor of their bedroom, which definitely was me all through high school and college. I would sit for some reason on the floor was like the place. For some reason the floor was the place to do the makeup. just like in hindsight, very bizarre. Although I think it kind of makes sense in the way that I did not grow up with a vanity, but I did have an inexpensive floor length mirror from, I think, probably Walmart. And so that for me made the most sense. It was like kind of out of the way of everybody, because like if you're getting ready, typically in college and or high school, other people in the house are getting ready as well. And so you want to be kind of, in my experience, be right the heck out of the way, so you're not hogging the bathroom, so you're not like getting into tiffs with other people who are like, hey, I need the bathroom. But I'm curious to know, where do you guys get ready? Do you have a vanity? Do you have a whole space dedicated to your craft? What does it look like at your humble abode? For eyeliner, I'm just going to use this one by ColourPop. It's their cream gel liner in the shade Piggy Bank. This is my favorite shade. I did hear that they reformulated these. I admittedly still only have their older formula. I was thinking about picking up the Vault, which is I think around $100, but that's admittedly kind of why I was like, I don't know about that, because $100 when I have a lot of the colors for the new formula seems a little, or a lot. It seems like a lot. I just don't know that I want to spend $100 on that right now, you know? So I went a little too hard on that shade. There we go. I think that's pretty. I think that is just colorful enough, but simple enough, you know? I admittedly don't really have a mascara. I'm actually on the prowl for a waterproof mascara. So if you have any recommendations for a solid waterproof mascara, please send them my way, because I am in need. So I'm just gonna go in with this one by Milani. It's their highly rated lash extensions. I've been using this for several months. It's actually at the end of its lifespan, so I'm just trying to use it up at this point. For lips, I've been loving this. It's also from that Natasha Denona collection, where it's her favorites. This is an I Need a Nude lip crayon, and I'm trying to see if I can find the shade here, but I don't think I can. It's from her My Favorites collection. I think this came out last year. The same way that it is Natasha's favorite nude, it's also my favorite nude. Then from there, I like to go in with one of my Tarte pens. They're just so comfortable on the lips. Today we're going to just go in with this one. It's called Cherry Blossom. It's a little bit of a cool toned pink. Easy. And if that hasn't been made clear as far as like the theme of my summer makeup, that is what I'm going for. Is effortless and easy. I just feel like this lip liner and these go beautifully together. That is everything as far as a mixture of high-end and more cost-effective options that I have been loving for summer. Please let me know what makeup items you are loving so far this summer. Let me know if there are things that I need to try. I so very much appreciate you being here with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would love it so much if you would subscribe to my channel down below. As always, please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.